I was about 3 months when I was diagnosed with the disease, and I didn't realize, I had sickle cell until I was 6 years old.
Well, sickle cell disease is an inherited blood disorder, and it is the most prevalent blood disorder, genetic blood disorder in the United States. A lot of people don't realize that. It's more prevalent than childhood leukemia, more prevalent than hemophilia. It does not get as much attention as other disease states. Sickle cell disease affects the red blood cells. Normal blood cells are like this. They're round and soft. They hold oxygen and flow freely throughout the bloodstream. Whereas sickle cells are hard and misshapen, and they got their name from the old farm instrument, the sickle. But they get hard, they lose oxygen, which means that your internal organs are not getting the oxygen that they need. Your heart, your lung, your liver, your brain, all of these major internal organs are not getting the oxygen delivered because it doesn't hold it as long as a normal blood cell, and it gets hard and sticky and blocks up in the bloodstream and can cause excruciating pain.
Ooh, crisis? Oh, Lord, I don't even know. It has to be, I don't even really know how to explain the pain, because first it starts off with your breathing. Like first you feel like you can't breathe, and then it feels like somebody's just like holding your face like this. And then when you breathe, it hurts. So it's like, do you not breathe? Do you breathe? So it feels weird. And then eventually when you get the breathing under control, the joints, like the pains in your knees, your ankles, your arms, your stomach, it's horrible. And, dealing with that, it's like, you can't even have a normal life. And then when it's nice out, you still don't want to get too comfortable because, you can't really wear the shorts, the skirts. You can't really, get cute. Man, in the winter, that's the worst. I feel so bad. You ever had surgery and every time it rains, that spot hurts? Yes, that's really what it feels like, but times 10.
I believe me and Olivia met at the Valerie Fund. We would just see each other there occasionally, and we would just see each other here and there. And then also at camp. It wasn't until our freshman year of high school where we found out we were in the same homeroom and in the same high school, and it was kind of like, hey, I know you from somewhere, and it was like, yeah, we know each other from Valerie Fund, and we just been friends since. My parents actually found out I had sickle cell before I was born. So basically when she had an ultrasound, I guess they did some tests, and then they were able to see that I had sickle cell. I don't really remember when exactly I found out I had sickle cell. Just growing up as a child, I just knew I was sick. So I knew that my sickness caused me to, spend a lot of time in the hospital or have pain and stuff like that.
It is an inherited blood disorder, and what we aim to do is to make sure that individuals with sickle cell disease, one, understand about their disease state, are connected to care, healthcare professionals who can treat them appropriately, and also so that families understand what resources are available and what curative therapies are coming out now, which we're very excited about.
I was constantly going to Hackensack. I was constantly going. They were basically doing all these tests and doing checking my blood just to make sure I'm ready. I'm ready for it. But I still question how am I going to get this blood? Who's going to be my donor?
My name is Meremikwu, and I'm a bone marrow donor. I had no idea what a bone marrow transplant is until I got asked to perform this activity with my sister. Honestly, being that I was so young, it's a little hard for me to remember everything that happened, but what I can remember is being placed in the wheelchair and brought to the hospital, and then I was asked, am I ready to go on with this surgery? And me being young, I was very nervous, but I knew I had to do it for my sister. And what I could remember is the anesthesia. When they were giving me anesthesia, they would just ask me questions like, what is my favorite color? What do I like to do? And then before you know it, it was a gas mask on my face, and I went to sleep. And I woke up after the procedure was over. After the procedure was over, they took me to the recovery center, and they actually gave me a chance to go see my sister. And they put me in a wheelchair. I went to see my sister. They placed my bone marrow in my hand and told me to give it to my sister and say, "This is my bone marrow, and now I'm giving it to you."
When I found out it was my younger sister, I was like, I was happy. I was so excited because I'm like, okay, that's my blood. But at the same time, I was like, she's still young. Like, how they gonna put her under the knife because of me? Like, nah, that's crazy.
I feel very honorable and heroic, and I'm just glad to have saved not only anyone's life, but my sister's life. It means a lot to me.
So, well, I feel like one of my main reasons why I never considered a bone marrow transplant before was, as I was younger, my sickle cell wasn't as bad as it is now. So when I was a child, I didn't really experience much crises. It was more of my hemoglobin dropping. So that's basically like my red blood count level that would drop, and that would cause me to have jaundice and stuff. So I would often get blood transfusions, and other than that, I would get sick often, like with the flu and, things like that. So because my sickle cell wasn't that bad, no one never really considered me having a bone marrow transplant.
Now, a clinical trial at the National Institutes of Health is doing exactly that in an attempt to cure sickle cell anemia, a devastating genetic disease that kills hundreds of thousands of people around the world every year.
I was just saying, thank you, Lord. Thank you for medical science, and thank you for giving her a new life.
New life indeed.
Question. I am very cautiously optimistic because it does look quite promising. If there can be a cure that is universally available, that most can take part in, that would be a godsend. That would be such a blessing, and we would do everything we could to make sure that individuals knew about it and could, if they so choose, take advantage of that.
So sickle cell left me scarred emotionally and mentally, but at the same time, I also have to be appreciative that, I was given another chance at life in a sense, because even though I had the transplant, it didn't really resonate in my mind that, oh, okay, I'm free of sickle cell. And in my mind, what I started dealing with was with the physical part that sickle cell left me with, not being able to smile freely, not being able to walk around with sandals. Like, people take those things for granted. People really take those things for granted, and it makes, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, those are just minuscule things to a big thing. So I have to just be grateful and be thankful that I was even given a second chance. When I had sickle cell, I think, I thought that was something I would have to, live with for the rest of my life. I didn't think I was gonna be able to have, be, I guess, a testimony. I never thought that would be my reality. Since I've been cured of sickle cell disease, I would honestly say I cherish life itself, and honestly cherish the people who are around me, and the people that love me for me, and the people that accept me for who I am as a person and what I went through.